I'm very transparent. I acknowledge what I feel with my listeners. I am very worried about the country. Are you?
I am worried about the country, but I also don't think that we should whine about it or complain about it. I think we have to do something about it. I mean, I think from a foreign policy perspective, I mean, it's not good when you've got the Chinese delegation humiliating the American delegation in Alaska. It's not good when Putin is challenging Biden to a debate. It's not good when you see Kim starting to test ballistic missiles in North Korea, and it's certainly not good when you have Biden trying to fall over himself to do sales with Iran, but yet he's boycotting Georgia. I mean, and then I look and they're wanting to raise tax rates above higher than China. We're trying to get countries out of China. That's giving the green light to go to China. You look at the fact that they're trying to double the capital gains tax. I mean, the idea that you would hurt job creators, but more than that, people need to understand it's not just those families making over $400,000. The cost of all products will go up, and we'll feel that. It's the idea that education is so out of whack that that kids are being taught to where the money is coming from as opposed to being taught to the basics so that they can thrive and succeed. It's a tough time. It's a reminder that elections have consequences. But you know what? Sometimes you got to go through the burn to know where up is, and we certainly know where up is, and I think we have to fight for it.
Well, I agree with every word you said, and I'm not going to belabor the point, but just what you did say is not just a matter of we have to act, which is my whole life. That's why I have a show. It's why I do PragerU. But on a human level, I have never seen the United States. For example, I never even imagined I would live in an America that suppressed free speech. This was the one constant that liberals and conservatives agreed on. Is that a fair concern?
Well, I think what we're seeing with big tech is really pretty abysmal. I mean, I think for me it was stark when they eliminated President Trump's Twitter handle. I mean,
yes.
To sit there and eliminate President Trump and not eliminate the Ayatollah is shocking to me. But now to go and see them go and defend LeBron for calling out a police officer that was doing his job. I mean, the whole reason that protections were given to big tech were so that they never or people using their free speech. The idea now that they are deciding what free speech is good or bad, I mean, Congress needs to do something about that. We can't be okay with that. If we are okay, what makes us any different than China?
Well, increasingly it will become possibly, which I am also amazed I'm saying, a legitimate question. If you had to present 2-3 issues to the American people as the ones that most concern you, what would they be?
Well, I think first and foremost, the foreign policy, the idea that China is our number one threat, the idea that Biden seems so over his head, and that countries don't see us as anything more than who's the president at the time, and that we don't have a long-term vision of 20 and 30 years out is concerning from a foreign policy perspective. I'm very worried about our, financial situation. The idea that for the first time since World War II, our debt is higher than our economy is not good. It's a national security threat for us. China and Russia are jumping up and down because they want to see a weak dollar. They want to make sure that they do something to prevent the U.S. from continuing to be the reserve currency. Very concerned about education. When you have things like critical race theory and you've got K through 12 that's been shut down and you have kids who haven't been able to go to school and then we're just supposed to pick up and act like nothing's happened. And when you are taking the side of the unions over taking the sides of the kids, that's a problem. And more than that, when you look at the Department of Education and the fact that they go and send down mandates to states and states go and teach to where the money is coming from instead of teaching to those kids, there's a real problem. And so, I look at this for a much more visionary 20 to 30 years out, that if we can't educate children properly and make sure they have...
All right, hold on there if you would. Nikki Haley is my guest.